Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a Sunday edition of Two Dudes and a Mexican. I am your host, some dude named Victor Salazar. To the left of me, my co-host, some dude named Peter Soprano.
What up?
To the right of me, resident Mexican, David Quinones.
Órale, mi gente.
We're back. Blackjacks, Mulligans, Garfield.
Brunch special.
Home of the $24.99 brunch special. Ever since we came here, the demand's been so high that they raised the price for brunch to $5. So, I'm sorry, guys. My apologies. But yeah, we're back. Sunday edition, man. Sunday edition. Football's right around the fucking corner.
Feels like it, too, outside.
Right around the corner.
Feels like it, the weather.
Right around the corner. My man Andrew Luck. Lamar Miller. One playing preseason
changes
game.
24 hours.
One playing in preseason game, the other one not playing at all. Ever. Game 3, remember? Game 3 of the preseason used to be a big thing.
Dress rehearsal.
I'm gonna remember all y'all guys that was picking the
Dress rehearsal. There was a game in Winnipeg. Where the fuck is Winnipeg?
What the hell?
80 yards. I don't even remember. And then we got my guy Jim Wyatt from Titans Online. We met the dude in Tennessee. Cool dude. I mean, if there's ever a time to bring Jim Wyatt on, it'd be right now because of what happened yesterday. So that's going to be good, guys. And then we'll talk about the baseball and the boxing. I mean, that's going to take a back seat, guys. This is how important football, NFL football, is to the American culture and landscape of sports. There is literally two of the most storied franchises playing a 3-game set in LA in baseball, and that takes a seat to the back. There is literally a playoff race going down in Queens between two of the best teams in the NL East, and that takes a back seat.
Exactly.
Thanks, bro.
Canelo and Kovalev. Canelo's the biggest star in boxing. He might fight Kovalev in November, December, and that takes a back seat. It takes a back seat.
Everything.
It takes a back seat to the NFL because the NFL is king in this country.
Yep.
And breaking news. Adam Schefter tweeted out yesterday that Andrew Luck, the golden child, is retiring at the age of 29. And the only person that's happy on this panel is to the left of me, because he plays in his division.
0 for 11, no more.
Your thoughts? Your thoughts on your boy Andrew Luck no longer being here?
On him as a quarterback, listen, he's been a great quarterback in the league. He's put up a lot of great numbers. He's destroyed my Titans 11-0 against them. But we don't have to deal with that anymore because he has decided.
Lucky you.
Over the past 4 years, he said he's been in nothing but pain. He's been in and out of the trainer's room, and it just mentally brought him down to the point where he said, listen, it's not fun playing football anymore. And listen, I understand people are going to say it's because I'm a Titans fan, but if your body is being beat up to the point where you're not even having fun doing the game that you want to play for your whole life, that you've been playing your whole life. He's been playing this since he was a small kid, and he's at the point where he can't do it anymore. You know he must be in a lot of pain. He just can't do it anymore.
Dave, I personally like Andrew Luck as a quarterback. I thought he was elite. I thought he was a top 10 guy. How does the game suffer from not having Andrew Luck no longer playing football?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think a lot of people around the league, or a lot of fans, like a guy like Andrew Luck. He's just a guy that carries himself well, plays the game well, how you're supposed to do it. I mean, he even has conversations with defensive linemen, who are tackling him and sacking him and stuff like that. So he's a guy that plays the game well. So I think we lost a good quarterback. Obviously, the Colts were a force to be reckoned with. They made the playoffs last year. They look promising, and now what do they do? What do they do with their franchise?
Jacoby Brissett, baby. Yeah, from the U.
A big hole to fill.
I don't even know where he's from. I was gonna shout out Steve Kim because that's his team. Shout out to the U, Steve. I see you, Steve.
They put up a fight yesterday.
I didn't bet on Florida, thank God. This guy right here. In case you missed it, Pete's Corner. If you would have bet Pete's Corner last week, you would have been wrong on Miami, Florida.
Hey, I want to pick that. I want to pick that.
Hey, watch him out.
Pete's Corner. That's easy money. But aside from you being
actually, Jacoby was actually happy. He went to Florida first.
Oh, he went to Florida.
Florida to North Carolina. North Carolina State.
I don't know why he went. I thought he went to the U. But impact on the game though, like I get it, you don't have to play him.
Yeah.
The Colts will probably be 2 wins on your resume now every year until they get a quarterback. Impact on the game. Remember when Tom Brady got hurt?
Yeah.
You know, people were like, "That's bad. Ratings are gonna go down." Ratings kind of did go down when Tom Brady got hurt.
Yeah.
Same with Aaron Rodgers. Same with like guys that people want to see. People want to see Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
You know, Andrew Luck, heir apparent to Peyton Manning.
Yes.
Impact on the game now.
In terms of impact on the game, I don't think he was a budding star in terms of national budding star.
Dude, there's a Twitter account that what's his name?
And it gets more hits than his account. Like everybody talks about that account, but they can put him
I love that account. What is it, Captain Andrew?
Captain
Luck?
Andrew Luck. Yeah. So he said my war is over. I'm going home.
Oh, he said that. He tweeted
that like
oh,
this morning.
shit, that's awesome.
He said so. He gets more accounts than the actual Andrew Luck account. But listen. Andrew Luck, he's not on the Brady level. He's not on the Aaron Rodgers level, but he's right below that. That's why I said he's a budding.
One of the best, top 10 at least.
Yes, top five.
You know, Brady, how many more years Brady has?
Oh,
you know, not that many.
According to him, it's like 7. So.
He's a vampire, dude. He's
for real. He said he's gonna play to his 50. So
we'll see what happens when.
And Tom Brady outlasted Andrew Luck. Think of that for a second. 43 years old, and he outlasted him. Wow. That's crazy.
No, but all right, come on. We have to have new quarterbacks.
It's a huge impact.
It's a huge impact.
Yeah.
He's supposed to carry the game.
He was a top
carry the game.
And he's a well-liked guy, though. He's a well-liked guy. Again, like people like a guy like him.
Yeah, he was a tough guy. He would take the hit for his teammates. He would listen. He wasn't one of those guys who just the offensive line just protected him all the time. He had bad offensive line.
Yeah.
This was actually the first year he actually had a good offensive line. So it actually makes it really a shame that he doesn't get a chance to play behind it.
So, aside from that, what does this say about the game where it is now? I know people are saying it's softer than it was, but more guys are retiring before they even reach their 30s.
Pat
Willis. I mean, I was a big Willis fan as well. Yeah. But I mean, Barry Sanders freaking retired.
Calvin
he was smarter than most people, I guess. Calvin Johnson.
Right.
And now we see this is the first time.
Just retired Warlow, right? From the Ravens.
Who?
The linebacker from the Ravens. They just released him. He requested because. So he's retiring now, but he might come back to the game.
29
but it's more like for his family.
They just signed him this offseason, and then he decided 29 years old. He said, "I'm gone. Like I'm sorry,
But this is the first time, guys, a quarterback, the most important position in the game, is saying, "I'm done."
One of the top stars,
and one of the top stars.
Yeah.
He's at least in my eyes, he's a top 5 quarterback.
Yes,
and he's gone. So if you're Roger Goodell, Dave, what is this saying to you now?
Yeah, you definitely have to look into it because is this going to be more common down the road? You know,
gotta protect the guys, man.
Are players going to think about this now and reassess their lives and their careers now? So it's definitely something he's got to take a look into and investigate more and. I don't know, man. Get more feedback from the players. See how you can better the system because obviously you hear of the horror stories on a lot of these players when they retire. They're just left out for dead in the street.
What else can they do though?
I mean,
they've already put in so many rules.
They've already protected them as much as they can.
They've already protected the offensive side of the football way too much.
But you know what? He's gotten some freak injuries. Like he has a shoulder injury that normally people come back from in a couple months that he was out for a year for. He has this ankle injury that, as this off season has gone along, it seems to have gotten worse. It went from a regular sprained ankle to a high ankle sprain and because eventually this happened all over a 4-year period. This didn't happen from when he first came in. Because when he first came in, he was playing 16 games. He was going through the whole season, throwing his arm out. He was throwing more than any other quarterback. Yeah. But over the last 4 years, it just all hit him at once. So it just completely broke him down mentally.
So before we get to Jim Wyatt, I know we spent most of our 10 minutes before we got to Jim Wyatt on Andrew Luck, the impact of Lamar Miller out for the season.
That actually is going to be a bigger impact than people think because Deshaun Watson needs some type of running game because their offensive line is not good. You can hide an offensive line by running the ball because Carolina did that a couple years when they got to the Super Bowl with Cam. They ran the ball down to people's throats. When they had to pass in the Super Bowl, they got blitzed by the Denver linebackers. They have to run the ball to keep the other teams honest because if they only have Duke Johnson back there, who's really just a pass catcher like a Theo Riddick, people are just going to be going towards the pass. And if people are going towards the pass, that offensive line is going to get maybe Deshaun Watson will be the next one getting hurt because they don't have good offensive linemen.
So do they make a trade? They make a trade?
They may try to because
they pick up Deontay Foreman.
Listen, you got two teams that I mentioned this week: Buffalo Bills and the Washington Redskins. Both have 4 running backs on their team that are legit running backs.
Jesus.
They need to trade one of them if they can because right now Duke Johnson alone is not going to help them, and they're going to get their star budding quarterback Deshaun Watson hurt this year.
Deontay Foreman?
No, I
got released.
Not him at all.
I'm not touching.
Sorry, Texas fan. not Deontay Foreman.
I mean, third preseason game, right?
It used to be the big
It
one.
used to be the big one. I mean, before we get Jim Wyatt on, what Lamar Miller? Who do you think is the impact of him?
I agree with Pete. It's going to be a big impact.
This is Jim Wyatt.
Hey, Jim, how you doing? You're on with two dudes and a Mexican. Hey,
How
Jim.
you doing?
I'm doing good, Jim. Thanks for being on the show. Jim,
Yeah, no problem.
we want to get right into the Titans because, listen, there's a lot of stuff that happened yesterday with Andrew Luck, and we will get to that. But we want to talk quickly. National media is talking about there's a controversy in Tennessee at quarterback between Marcus Mariota and Ryan Tannehill. Listen, you're there every day. You see how they're being treated every day. Is that true that there's an actual controversy, or is that just more of a media build-up?
It's a national media build-up. I mean, people in Tennessee, people have been going to practices, people that have followed the team closely realize and have realized since day one that this was Marcus Mariota's job at the start of the season, and he's going to obviously need to play well to continue to be the starter, but the expectation is he will. And, it's not like they've been, juggling first-team reps between Marcus Mariota and Ryan Tannehill. It's been clear again from day one that Marcus Mariota was the starter and Ryan Tannehill was brought in to be the backup. And so the controversy, if that's what people call it, has been created from people that have not been in Nashville, Tennessee.
Now, obviously, we have to go through the suspension of Taylor Wan, who won't be out there to start the first 4 games at left tackle. Jack Conklin is probably going to be the guy that everybody looks at the most. One, is he back to his pre-injury form, what he was 2 years ago, or is he still trying to get back to 100%?
He's looked good to me. I mean, he's been with the first group from day one. He's playing on the right side. I think the guy that's in the spotlight when the one's out is Dennis Kelly, who's going to be playing on the left side in the first 4 games of the season. Dennis Kelly, every time they've needed him, he's stepped in, he's played well. The expectation is he'll do the same until the one gets back. But as far as Conklin is concerned, I've been impressed with what I've seen from him. He's looked more athletic. Looks like he's got his confidence back, and I expect him to play well.
Now, one question that a lot of Titans fans have been asking about in the preseason is Harold Landry. They want to see more of him, and he's a second-year player, and he's going to be one of their big-time pass rushers with Cameron Wake. What's the deal with Cameron Landry? He hasn't really been playing too much during the preseason.
Yeah, and Mike Vrabel hasn't really divulged too much information on that. He practiced against the Patriots a couple weeks ago. Hasn't played either the preseason game since. I don't think they're necessarily just looking to give him a day off because you want him to get work, you want him to get better for the season. But that's the coach's call there, and Harold Landry, I know, has worked with them on that. And again, Mike Vrabel has not shed too much light on that situation. And working with the team, I'm not going to say anything that he hasn't said.
And also the last question from me before we get to Vic and David also here. What are you going to do at right tackle between Nate Davis, the rookie, and some of the guys they brought in? Who's in line to start at right tackle? Excuse me, at right guard.
Right guard, I think, based on what we've seen so far during the preseason, it's looking like Kevin Pomfield just because he started the first 2 preseason games. Nate Davis has not been practicing, as you mentioned. He's been out for a couple of weeks. Jamil Douglas is a guy who's kind of worked back and forth left guard and right guard, but they started camp with Pompil at right guard, and they've kind of circled back to where he's getting most of the reps there. I think whoever starts tonight against the Steelers could very well be the starter on opening day in Cleveland. But there's still time for that to get sorted out, and I think whatever happens tonight, whoever works with the starters tonight could provide a pretty good clue.
And we're here live with Jim Wyatt, who's been covering the Titans since 1999 on Two Dudes and a Mexican. Jim, thanks for coming on. We spoke last year in terms of the Titans' trajectory, and it seems like this year, not many people are high on the Titans. With the recent news, obviously, of Andrew Luck and of Lamar Miller being injured, what's the projection? What are you hearing now of the Titans? Do they move up in the pecking order in the AFC South?
Well, I mean, they still got to win. I mean, obviously, when Andrew Luck retires, it changes not only the look of the AFC South, but the look of the entire AFC. Before I came on, I was checking Twitter, and they were writing out of Boston about how his retirement affects the Patriots and how teams that are competing against the Patriots for potentially, the top seed in the AFC South maybe get a boost because Andrew Luck's not playing in games against teams they're competing against, and so there's certainly something that's felt across the league when a guy like that retires. Lamar Miller went down with an injury last night, the running back from the Texans. So, I mean, those are two pretty significant developments in the AFC South that happened last night. With that said, Titans got to go out and play. I mean, just because the Colts lost their starting quarterback doesn't mean their whole team is now trashed. I mean, I think they've got a lot of talent. I think they've got a very good general manager. I think they've done a good job of drafting and picking spots in free agency. And I still think the Colts are a good team and a team to be reckoned with. But, certainly the Titans, have a chance in this division. I still feel the same today as I did yesterday at this time before the news of Andrew Luck's retirement. Still feel like the Titans can compete in the AFC South and put themselves in a position to win it. But you got to win close games. You've got to stay healthy, and you got to have things fall. And so the Titans can't worry about what's going on 4.5 hours up the road in Indianapolis. They got to take care of business in Nashville, Tennessee.
What sense are you getting with the importance of Derrick Henry this year? I know a lot of people, kind of, I don't know, like I thought his role would be, I know he's important, but I felt like he could have been utilized more. I mean, is Vrabel hearing that from the fans and from sports radio talk in terms of the use of Derrick Henry?
Well, the thing about Henry is he finished so well last season, and I think it brought a lot of questions about why the Titans didn't use him more at the beginning of the season. And the reality is, he had opportunities early, and he just wasn't very good. I mean, you look at the game against Jacksonville last season when he went for 238 and 4 touchdowns, and he had on just 17 carries. Well, look back to that game against Jacksonville in September when he had 59 yards, I think, or 57 on 18 carries. So, I mean, he had more carries in the game in Jacksonville and only went for about 57, 59 yards. But he just had a lot more success against the Jaguars late. And when you're not able to be successful and you get your opportunities early, they're going to be more limited after that. So they just never could get in sync on from an offensive run standpoint last year. Some of it was Derrick, some of it was obviously the offensive line, some of it was because of the way games played out. The key this year is to start off fast and let Henry kind of build up some steam and get into a rhythm a lot earlier than last season. Only problem holding that back is, again, you've got some shuffling that's taking place in the offensive line that has complicated things, and you've got Derrick Henry, who has not practiced has not played in a preseason game yet and hasn't been practicing up until this week. So, they're going to have to work through some things to find success there.
Now, I know, a lot's going to be said about Andrew Luck. A lot's going to be said about the Lamar Miller injury. A lot's going to be said about Deshaun Watson. But are people forgetting about the Jacksonville Jaguars and the fact that they've added a Nick Foles and they have they might have probably the steal of the 2019 draft and Josh Allen, who looked like an absolute wrecking ball in preseason. Granted, it's preseason, but are we forgetting about the Jacksonville Jaguars when we talk about the AFC South?
Well, I haven't forgotten about them. I mean, I certainly think the AFC South is one of the best divisions in the NFL. And I think it's anybody's to claim. But again, you got to win close games. You got to stay healthy. I think that to the Jaguars, you're probably like having people not talk about you, because this time last year, that's who everybody was talking about. Everybody thought the Jaguars were the top pick in the AFC full pick, and then they finished in last place in the division. So I don't think it's a bad thing as far as they're concerned that they're kind of flying under the radar. That's kind of the way the Titans are. When I see people project the AFC South, before last night, obviously, when Andrew Luck announced his retirement, but it's consistently been Indy 1, Texans 2, and then Titans Jaguars, or Jaguars Titans, one of those two at 3 and one at 4. So I think they're in a similar. I think Jacksonville's in a similar spot in Tennessee. That sometimes it's not bad to be the team that people are sleeping on.
You're here with Two Dudes and a Mexican. We're here with Jim Wyatt from Titans Online. Jim, appreciate you taking the time out to talk to us on this beautiful Sunday. Well, it's beautiful here in New Jersey, so I don't know how the weather is in Tennessee. So, but a lot of people like to talk about, obviously, Marcus Mariota, Derrick Henry. I think sometimes the wide receivers, though, right? They don't get enough spotlight. Tell me, how is the wide receiver core looking in preseason? How's Corey Davis looking? Obviously, he made his mark last year. He had a pretty good season, so I actually drafted him one of my fantasy leagues. So, just can you paint a picture on how this wide receiving core is coming together this preseason?
Well, Corey Davis got off to a great start in camp, and I think he's really looked good. He spent some of the offseason watching tape of guys like Antonio Brown and Julio Jones and trying to incorporate some of what they do into his game. And you've seen flashes from him that make you think he's going to have a really special season. Adam Humphries has looked good. He had instant chemistry with Marcus Mariota, and I shouldn't say it was instant. Those guys have spent a lot of time together. Adam Humphries went out to Oregon and spent some time with Marcus, and they've really worked well in practices. And then A.J. Brown, after a slow start, after having an injury in the very first day of camp, he seems to be picking up steam. You had guys like Taywan Taylor, Tajay Sharp. I think it's a solid receiving core. And when you talk about the receivers, you got to throw in Delaney Walker, obviously tight end, but he'll be part of an offense that's expected to put the ball in the air. We were talking about Derrick Henry earlier. A lot of people want to see Derrick Henry get fed the ball more and do what he did at the end of last season. Well, this team is finally pretty good at receiver, as good as they've been at receiver in a long, long time. So that's why I think there's going to be a balance on this offense. You're going to see both facets of the offense get opportunities, and that's the way you become successful.
So, obviously, with the news of Andrew Luck and Lamar Miller yesterday, it obviously, I hate to say it this way, but it does help the Titans, right, for their outlook on this season. Can you tell me maybe either a weakness or something that you think the Titans are going to have to work on this year in order to, have a good season and possibly make the playoffs this year?
Well, I think the weaknesses will present themselves as the season goes on. I'll refer to it as question marks going into the season that they have to work through. And I think one of them, one question mark is on how things are going to play out on the offensive line. They're going to have to sort through some things. The first 4 weeks without Taylor Warren at left tackle, they're going to be playing with a new right guard. Whoever ends up winning that job. We've got a left guard who I certainly think is very capable in Roger Saffold, who came over from the Rams. And they got Jack Huffman coming back from the Super Bowl season last year, expected to kind of regain his form. But you got a lot of question marks on the offensive line, and they're going to have to be good, and they're going to have to protect Marcus Mariota. I think it's fair to put a question mark on the pass rush because Cameron Wake's coming in here while he's looked good in camp, and I certainly expect him to play well. You know, he's not getting any younger, and he still is going to have something to prove going into this year. We talked about Harold Landry earlier, but they're really young behind Wake with Landry and Kamala Correa. You know, Sharif Finch is a second-year guy that they're expecting a lot of things out of. But a lot of these guys I'm talking about have not had a whole lot of success in the league. So the edge rush position is going to have to be productive for the Titans. And then I think you know, they're going to need Marcus Mariota to return to his form from a couple years ago when he was really successful and consistent and accurate. You know, he's got to play better like everybody else in 2019. So those are things that are going to need to go well for the Titans for them to compete and have a chance to win the AFC South. You know, again, I know a lot of the talk's going to be about Andrew Luck retiring and how that's good for the Titans. Well, it's not good for the Titans. The Titans can't figure out some things themselves. This team's going to have to be more consistent. You can't lay an egg in Buffalo. You can't get shut out at home against Baltimore. You can't lose games you're supposed to win. And if the Titans do that again in 2019, it's not going to matter whether Andrew Luck's quarterback or the coach or not. It's the Titans team that has to figure some things out to give themselves a chance.
So I can't ask Pete this question because I know I'm going to get a biased answer. No, I'm just kidding. No, your unbiased answer. What are the Titans' record at the end of the year, and do they make the playoffs?
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to dodge the question, but the way I always answer this. I mean, I can't. In some ways, I can't win. I work for the team, so I can't sit here and say, "Hey, this team is going to the playoffs and going to win the division," because I look like a homer. And if I say this team is not going to make the playoffs and finish 7-9, then people will wonder what the heck I'm talking about working for the team and how I'm not more optimistic. So I say what I have said consistently this offseason, what I've said the last couple off seasons when this team finished 9-7 is this team is good enough to win the division and to make it into the playoffs. But there's such a fine line every Sunday in the NFL in winning games, and you got to be able to win close games, and you got to be able to stay healthy. So I think there's a window for the Titans, along with a lot of teams in the NFC South that we talked about. Is this team's good enough to win 10, 11 games? But it's also, if you don't win the close games, you have injuries, you could also win 7 games. So last year, the Titans were able to beat the Eagles late, and they were able to win a game when they came from behind to beat the Jets, and they beat some good teams, the Cowboys, and the Patriots. You got to be able to win those type of games to give yourself a chance. So yes, I think the team's capable, but there's going to need some things to go its way as well.
All right. Well, I appreciate your honesty, and I got them going 10-6. So.
That would be a step up for the last 3 years, and it probably is good enough to get you in the playoffs if you can get to 10-6. So I think a lot of people in Tennessee would take that, and there's no question that I was shocked. I saw the Andrew Luck news last night, and there's no question that changes the look of the AFC South. But again, the Titans, they're not going to get any gimmies, and no matter what happens in Indy, Titans have got to stay above some good teams like the Texans and Jags too. So I think it's going to be a dog fight to the end, and hope it ends well.
Hey Jim, thanks for joining us, Jim Wyatt from TitansOnline. We appreciate you giving us a couple minutes of your time. We know you're busy today, and we know you got a game to get to tonight. So appreciate you guys coming on with us tonight.
Okay, I appreciate you guys having me on. Hope you have a good weekend.
All right, we'll get to you again soon. Thank you, Jim.
Good luck this year. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
That was Jim Wyatt of TitansOnline. Interesting things to say about the Titans still having to go out and win games, still have. It doesn't matter what Andrew Luck does. The Titans shouldn't care about what the Colts do. The Titans should care about what the Titans do.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on him saying that Derrick Henry has to do more with the carries that he gets?
Well, he does. I mean, even if you ask Derrick Henry himself, he even said that he had to speak with Eddie George in the middle of the season, and Eddie George tell him, listen, you need to run harder. You need to get those extra yards when you get hit. And he was going down too easily at the start of the year. For the first 8 games or so, when he got hit, he was going down. He was not running with the same type of burst that he was the second half of the season. He had to talk. Listen, Deion Lewis was getting the majority of the carries because Derrick Henry didn't earn those carries. So at the second half of the year, he finally got his chance. Mostly that game against Jacksonville. After he talked with Eddie George, he ran hard. He had that 99-yard run, and that seemed to burst him onto the second half of the season. And he ran hard after that, and we saw what he can do. They're hoping that he comes in with that same mentality to start the year.
Your thoughts on him saying the Jaguars are flying under the radar, and I know a lot of people aren't talking about them. You know, they got a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and they probably got the best person in the draft. And we're all talking about Lamar Miller. We're all talking about Andrew Luck. We're not talking about the Jaguars.
I think it's because it's the new news, right? So, you know, it still remains to be seen how Foles is obviously going to do with that offense. I mean, I think we can all assume that they're going to be better compared to their last quarterback. So, but I mean, you still got a little drama too, obviously. You know, with what's his face,
the cornerback.
Yeah. So.
Future Titan.
He
already said it.
So you got a little drama there. I mean, but I thought it was interesting what he said about Mariota, in terms of which Mariota they need this year. So he said they need that Mariota from a couple years back. So I think there's probably, I don't know, maybe a health concern there, or I mean, because obviously Mariota's had.
I just think he's saying this is do or die for him. Like this, I mean, I just think this is do or die for him.
I think they have a great opportunity.
Pete would tell you that. Pete would tell you that. This is
Yeah,
do or die.
it is. This is his final year of his contract. They didn't extend him yet, and him and Jameis Winston are in the same boat. They were both drafted the same year, first and second. They both are on the 5th year of their contract, which is the final year, and neither one got an extension. If they don't step up this year, it's time to move on. So this is the year they both have to step up.
So before we got on with Jim Wyatt, thanks for that, Pete. Third preseason game used to be the preseason game we looked to, and now it just looks like preseason's a wash. I mean, we asked this to Malusis. We've asked Malusis this Wednesday. I should have asked Jim Wyatt this about what were his thoughts, because currently he's in Tennessee. Pittsburgh is coming in town for the third preseason game. Should have asked him who's playing. That's my bad. I should have asked him that, but. Does this even matter anymore? Like, why are we playing preseason, Dave?
Man, money. Like I say all the time, money talks, and obviously you see these preseason games because it's a time to start watching football again, right? We all get excited, all the fans get excited. Yep. So they have an opportunity to go to the stadium to watch their team, but it's all about money. I mean, as a season ticket holder, you're still paying.
Regular price
for those games. So it's money. So I know the league is talking about possibly going to 18 games, shortening up the preseason games. You see it a lot more now. Teams are holding out their star players, and they're not even playing, the third game. Le'Veon Bell was held out for the whole preseason. I mean, people are being left out purposely. Because of these reasons, because of these injuries that are possible, especially again, we're not even in regular season yet, and people are getting injured.
In terms of how do I quote this? These games do matter.
Yes.
To the end of the roster.
Yes. Trying to make the team.
Trying to make the team, but how does the NFL, I guess, prioritize these games more than what they are now? Because clearly. Coaches don't care anymore. We're not seeing Saquon Barkley. We're not seeing Odell. We're not going to see any of your stars. You're not going to see, minus the quarterback, because obviously the quarterback has to play, get in rhythm with, possible receivers that he might have to play with.
But they don't play a half anymore.
But they don't play a half anymore. They're playing 2 series, 3 series. Third game, I think Eli played 3 series. Yeah. It might have been. Like, how does the NFL prioritize to making this games? I mean, we don't think it matters.
Yeah.
But the sports fan still has to pay $150 to get into the seat to see your team play. Well, if you're watching MLB preseason, you're paying $10, maybe
Yeah.
$15.
Yeah.
But you're still paying $150 to see a preseason game when the stars of the team aren't going to play.
Well, the problem that we have is that the NFL juggernaut is made into is a TV sport. I mean, yes, we go to live games and everything like that, tailgates great and all that stuff, but it's a TV sport. It's made for TV, and they made it so that the preseason isn't a good TV game, and that's the biggest problem they have right now. So I don't know if they can really change anything. They're gonna eventually have to cut down the amount of preseason games because the fact about it is that fans bring in the money for the NFL.
Of course.
But the fans are really the only people that don't care about the preseason. The coaches do care,
Of course.
and
They're looking at
obviously,
guys. Yeah,
and obviously
yeah.
the players care. Not just the backups, but the starters care because listen, these are their brothers right now. They're on the team. They're trying to make it. They make friendships. They make relationships while they're in that locker room. So they're fighting for them. They're like, yo, keep pushing, keep fighting. They're going for it. But we don't care about that. We just want to see who's going to be starting week 1. That's all we care about. So the NFL is going to have a hard time trying to justify keeping 4 preseason games, which is why they're down with going to 2 preseason games. The players want to keep it because it gives them more games to get in shape. It gives them more time to have the backups try to find their jobs. So the players want to keep it at level right now for 4 games. The starting players, obviously, they don't care about it. They're only going to play a quarter or whatever, a couple series. But the coaches like it. The players like it, but the NFL's not going to like it because it's not making them any money. It's like they're seeing dead stadiums right now because people aren't going to pay $150 to see backups play. So they're in a problem where eventually there's going to be some type of middle ground where they're going to have to cut down these preseason games, but there's going to have to give something to the NFLPA to make it go.
Well, in terms of preseason, talking about preseason, Green Bay played, I forget who they played. Green Bay played Oakland in Winnipeg, and their field wasn't a 100-yard field. They played in an 80-yard field.
Which is bullshit.
It was meant to be a 100-yard field, but
The field was trash. It was trash. Do we still? I mean, we still want to see these games overseas, even though it was a preseason game. Like whether it be Canada, whether it be England, whether they go to Mexico. I mean, I went to a Mexico game. That field sucked.
Was it? It sucked?
Yeah, it sucked. Azteca Stadium, as much lore and history is there, the stadium is like so old. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was sitting like this. You know, there was one bathroom for like 40,000 people in my section.
They were for the Mayans back then.
All right, but seriously, they play the game in Azteca. I mean, if you're gonna go to Mexico, why not go to, I guess, Club America Stadium in Guadalajara? Like, why do we keep going to the antiquated stadium? When we go to Wembley, we're going to Wembley. Wembley's like the oldest stadium in the Premier League. Like, what are we doing, NFL?
Yeah, listen, that's on the NFL though.
Like when baseball,
you're making-
when baseball went, the Yankees Red Sox, they went to probably the new, that second newest stadium in the EPL, which was the West Ham Stadium, which was built for the Olympics. See, they got that right.
Yeah.
But what is the NFL doing here?
I don't know. That's on the NFL. Like I said, listen, you're making this money. You're making all this money, off of this game. The least you can do is send a team out there, make sure everything's status quo. You're putting a big production on. You gotta put in the work before the actual game, before the actual event, and make sure everything is kosher, everything is good to go. Your field is correct. Your personnel, your security, all this stuff has to be in place before you put a big. So it's kind of weird because you would think the NFL would have their shit together, but obviously they don't because it's happening too often now. So, but that's on the NFL.
Even on practices when they send their players to like do these practices to like. Maybe it's at a college field, like the locals, and they try to make it to the fans. Like who got hurt like a week ago or 2 weeks ago? Was it the Browns player? Was it somebody? No, I forget who it was. Damn, it was a wide receiver who said like the turf was bad when they were practicing. When it was like an open practice.
Well, the thing is,
like that's what I'm saying. Like
every time they have a preseason game or any type of game that's not on an NFL regulated field, it's a fucked up field. That's the problem. They're bringing them to these fucked up fields because they're not made for NFL players. And for a league that makes that much money, I don't know why you're doing that.
And
it makes no sense.
Before we move on from the NFL, I'm going to throw this out there. Quick random question. Me and P were talking about in the chat, Andrew Luck, 2012 draft. Supposed to be the greatest thing, since Peyton Manning.
Since sliced bread?
Since sliced bread, right? In your opinion, who's the best quarterback in that draft?
Tannehill.
Oh my God.
Who's the best quarterback in that draft?
You got RG3, you got Andrew Luck, Nick Foles, Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins. I think anyone else besides that is trash.
Ryan Tannehill.
I'm gonna go with Russell Wilson, obviously, because
Big Dick Nick.
he's still out there proving, he can still sling it. I think he's a good quarterback, and listen, his support hasn't been great over the years either. So I'm gonna go with Russell Wilson. So.
I'm going to say, if I had to pick one of those quarterbacks to be the quarterback of my team right now, it would be Andrew Luck. I still think Andrew Luck has the most pure talent of the people in that draft. So, listen.
Doesn't ring though.
Listen, he killed my team for years, so I got to admire him somehow. So I would pick Andrew Luck out of that group.
Pete, did you not get the tweet from Adam Schefter yesterday?
No, he'll play for me.
Andrew Luck's retired.
He'll play for me.
He's no longer playing.
He meant you couldn't choose.
You know what? Look, those Indian fans booing him too. How are Indian fans gonna boo him off the field? He gave all those damn hold up. He gave all those damn years. He gave all those damn years, his heart, his body to those Indianapolis Colts fans, and they boo him off the field yesterday. Yo,
that was messed up.
Listen,
that was fucked up.
Luck may come back in a year or two. He's only gonna be 31 years. He's gonna come back in a couple years. He's not gonna want to play for that team.
You played yourself yesterday. That was fucked up.
Cutthroat sport.
Listen, no, but there's a difference between cutthroat and being a human being.
You gotta be selfish.
Listen, there's a difference. No. Listen, if he's not playing well, boo him all you want. He deserves it. You're paying your money. You can do what you want. You can't boo somebody for being hurt they can't play for you anymore.
This sport is tough, man.
I saw a fan taking off the Andrew Luck jersey.
I saw that too.
He's gonna burn it?
No, he looked like he was gonna cry.
Listen, man.
But he didn't boo.
Shout out to Doug Gottlieb for being the asshole.
Oh, he's a
of the
complete
millennium.
asshole.
And I quote, retiring because rehabbing is too hard is the most millennial thing ever. Andrew Luck. Torrey Smith replied, you stole credit cards because working was too hard. Doug Gottlieb's a jackass.
He's a complete asshole.
But if I'm talking about who's going to have the best career from that draft, right now.
Oh my God, he didn't die. He didn't die. What the hell? No. He's not dying.
His career is dead.
Oh, he did die from football.
He'll be back in a year or two.
His career is dead.
That's my prediction. He will be back. First of all, 2 weeks ago on the show, I said he was done. I remember Big looking at me like, yo, what the fuck you talking? No, he was done.
I didn't think he was done.
Pete did say that he was going to
He
retire.
did.
I
didn't think he was done.
He's going to be back in a year or two. Watch.
Anyways, my answer as to who the best quarterback at that draft is Big Dick Nick Foles, University of Arizona. Who else was the Pac-12 quarterback that year? Was it It was Luck. It was Foles, and it was somebody else who probably sucked.
It wasn't good.
Who wasn't good? It wasn't Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, Michigan State.
Nah.
I forget who it was. But anyway, let's go. Big Dick Nick. Love that guy. University of Arizona. Breaking news. I don't think we care.
Damn. He's in your division.
Case Keenum's been named the Redskins quarterback.
Will not be Dwayne Haskins.
Wow.
So
I think we knew that.
he's gonna sit.
The Redskins continue their trend of racism. So
wow. Now we're going.
Call the Reds.
All right, I'm gonna end the football segment on that. Moving forward, two big series this weekend.
Dave.
Two big series this weekend.
1-0.
Dave, I'm gonna go to you.
What is it? The ninth inning?
Yes, it's the ninth inning. I'm gonna go to you.
Pointing me that.
I'm gonna go to you, Dave. Are the Mets done after this weekend?
No, definitely. We're 2 games out, guys. I thought I didn't know if you were 2 games out, you're done.
I didn't say. Pete wanted me to ask you this question.
Listen.
Yeah, listen.
We're gonna keep a weekly check with the Mets fans. So.
He's a hater. That's why. So
I'm a hater.
Keep hating.
I'm a hater.
So listen.
First of all, you beat us like one time in the last 5 games.
Listen. Say again.
You beat us like one time in the last 5 games.
Okay, so what? We beat ourselves. So we beat ourselves.
Oh, now we beat
ourselves.
We couldn't get the run home from third base that we struck out.
Exactly. We couldn't execute, man. We couldn't execute.
Let's not talk about the pitcher that struck him out.
We couldn't execute. So, listen, they're 2 games out. So they're not 10 games out. They're not 5 games out. They're 2 games out of a wild card. Yes, the Braves have been playing us, well. And listen, the Braves are one of the best teams in the NL. So what do you expect? Mets couldn't execute. last 2 games. They wasted a gem that DeGrom pitched. And
They
hit home.
He's used to that by now.
I know it's
Jeez.
crazy, man. It's crazy. And yesterday, it was just mess up after mess up after mess up for the Mets. And just listen, the only hotter team right now than the Mets is the Braves, man. So they're just red hot right now.
I admit
They're
that
playing really, really
14
well.
inning game was killing me.
So
Though.
yeah, so
that shit was long as hell.
But listen.
You saw the whole game.
Because I started watching at 7.
Oh my
The
God.
Yankees and Dodgers played at 10. But the game, I mean, I thought it was a really good game. The game was so good that I didn't switch to the Yankee game.
It was a long,
So after the
good game. It was a good
finished.
game.
Yeah, it was a good game.
But listen, the Mets got McNeil back, so which is promising. So again, like I said last Wednesday, they need McNeil to make this run. So listen, we're still in it, and there's a little separation right now. So I think after the Mets or the Milwaukee, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So it's 5 games. So you got 5, and then you got like 2. So there's a little separation creating right now. Big series after the Braves is going to be the Cubs. It's going to be huge. So
You
we'll
gotta
see.
take the Cubs
So,
out. You gotta take the Cubs
Definitely, and they got to win today. I think today's a big game.
After the show, we'll watch the game.
But you gotta worry about
real
Philly.
quick. Fuck Philly, get out of here.
Cubs and the Phillies for your next series.
Yeah, whatever.
That's your next series.
That
So
dog
you gotta
taking naps.
be careful with that.
Whatever. All right, so
Yeah.
Yankees Dodgers obviously was the big series this weekend.
Yeah.
Yankees blew the Dodgers out game 1. Yesterday was a close contested
2-1.
game. 2-1.
Controversial, too.
Controversial. I get
Yeah.
it. Whatever. I mean, you can't win every game. Umpires suck. It is what it is.
Angel Hernandez,
Yankees
fuck
should've
you.
won.
So yeah, we should have won, but whatever.
Yeah,
We go tonight. Herman versus Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah.
Fuck Clayton Kershaw.
You gotta get King.
Look, the Dodgers fan hyped up this Ryu kid. Oh my God, Ryu.
I'm surprised you guys smacked
You
him
know
down.
what happened to Ryu? He got Hadouken by fucking Ken. All right, fuck out my face, Ryu. Take that shit back to Japan. All right.
Oh my God.
Got Hadouken by Ken, by the Yankee,
Oh
the
my
Yankee
God.
Ken. So yeah, good game.
All rise.
All right. CC pitched kind of well. I don't even know he's from Japan. I hope he is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought he was Korean.
He's
Yeah.
South Korea.
I'm sorry. You got Hadouken back to South Korea.
Go back to South Korea, motherfucker.
What?
Doesn't
Oh
make
my
sense.
God.
Ryu and Street Fighter
Guys,
from Japan.
just said that the
Damn.
Redskins is racist now.
I'm not racist. I'm not. I'm saying he got Hadouken back.
You're stating a
you know.
fact.
Oh my gosh.
He's from
Ryu
South
from
Korea.
Street Fighter was from Japan.
He was.
My bad. I'm sorry. He's a different Ryu. But Ken still Hadouken your ass. I still think we're the better team, what have you. But do you think this is the World Series preview?
I definitely think it can be because most people are picking the Dodgers, including me, to come out the NL. And
It's gonna be a lot.
and the AL, most people think it will be either the Yankees or Astros. So I think it's a very good chance that it could be a World Series preview.
Now it's gonna be
World
96
Series
all over
preview,
again.
Dave? What do you think?
Oh yeah, definitely a big possibility. Obviously, you got pretty much
Jim Wyatt.
the 2 best offenses in all of baseball. So I think it definitely could be a preview. So who knows? We'll see.
I don't think it is.
Man, Dave, you say that any more somber?
He just said the Mets.
I was gonna say something, but I didn't.
I don't think it's
I
gonna
was
be.
Might as well let it
say
go.
something.
You know? There's no
I'm-
censorship
I'm-
on the
I'm
show.
I'm gonna have a Stephen A. Smith hot take. Neither team's gonna make the World Series.
Wow.
Who said that?
Wow.
Stephen Smith.
He said he's gonna have a Stephen A. type of take. He said neither one.
Neither one's gonna make the
Oh,
World
fuck Stephen A. Smith.
Wow.
Neither one's gonna make the World
There you
Series.
go.
I still think the Astros are the class of the AL.
Mm-hmm.
The Yankees sat on their ass. I mean, I get it. I get that Greinke couldn't come here. He didn't want to come here. But there were still 2 other guys you could have got. And they didn't do nothing. And, you know, I'm not saying Stroman was the answer, but at least they could have got something.
Yeah.
Stroman's done for
And
the
they
year,
didn't.
right?
And they didn't. I just think the Astros are the better team.
Yeah.
And you're going to be surprised at the team that I think is going to come out the NL. And I'm probably going to be wrong.
Nats.
I think the Nats are coming out the NL.
Who?
Scherzer's coming back.
Nationals.
Scherzer's coming back. Strasburg's a beast.
They're on fire too.
They're on fire.
Yeah,
Brett,
they're on
that lineup without, like, you know, Bryce Harper. You left the team, they got better. That speaks to you. That speaks to how good you are.
Less
They
330 million.
Do you
Exactly.
think getting hot right now is perfect or?
Yeah, because Scherzer's coming back now.
This is when you
That's
want to
a
get
two-
hot.
when you wanna
Scherzer's
get
coming
hot.
back
You wanna
now.
get hot.
And as much as the Mets may have the best rotation in the NL, the Nationals can go pitcher for pitcher with them, and they have a way better offense.
Yeah.
They do.
Way better offense. So, hate me, Yankee fans. I just don't think we're there. I mean, we struggled against the fucking A's
Yeah.
last week.
I was gonna pick the Astros, but then you guys would have.
Listen,
this
man.
fucking guy.
Listen, man. If we can win the battle
That's why I
between
stopped.
if we can win the battle between New York and LA this weekend, I'll be happy, and then we'll see what happens. We'll
Bro,
see
we
what
had
happens.
trouble with the
2 out of
Astros,
6,
man.
man. I know.
never know.
Yeah, there you go. And then we'll end it with you guys talk about me being racist. No, we'll go to Russia with love.
Oh my God.
Sergey Kovalev stops Anthony Yarde. Kovalev has not made the best decisions or has not been seen great in the light. You know, he had an Adonis Stevenson monkey shirt on. He's accused of battering, domestic abuse, sexual assault. But he won. But he won yesterday against Anthony Yarde. KO, King of Russia.
Who did he have again?
I had Yarde.
He had Yarde. Anyway,
It wasn't horrible.
It wasn't a horrible pick. Point that out, though.
He won a couple rounds. He won a few rounds.
Pick. I saw the fight. I've seen less Kovalev than I've ever seen in my life. This is going to lead to Kovalev Canelo.
Yeah.
And I'm all in for it.
I am too.
And I'll give you 2 reasons why.
I am too.
Kovalev is still a big dude. You know, he's still 175 pounds.
Yeah.
So, if there's no weight restrictions,
I was gonna ask that. Yeah, we don't.
I mean, no Canelo, it probably will be.
No, it's gonna be.
But I'm hoping Canelo's like, fuck it, like, I want to win another fight with
Another weight class.
Another weight class. Let me fight Kovalev. Like, I see why he wants to fight Kovalev. But at the end of the day, Kovalev is still a big dude, and he can still box. So if Canelo doesn't fight Triple G, he doesn't fight Andrade, he doesn't fight. I don't care about Billy Joe Saunders. Fuck that guy.
With your boy Hearn now, man. Hearn with Hearn.
Hey, man. You're Saudi Arabia, Hearn with Hearn. He doesn't fight any of the Charlos. I mean, whatever. If he doesn't fight those guys, why not Kovalev?
Yeah.
What's your argument against that fight?
There really isn't. I just think that if he can get inside, which I think he will, if he can get inside, he's going to pound the body, and I don't think that's going to be good for Kovalev at all. If he can get inside, I think he can stop him if he gets inside. If Kovalev can use his jab and keep him on the outside, then we may have an interesting story. We may actually have fun. But there was times during that fight yesterday where we saw Kovalev be a little bit slow after he got hit by Yarde a couple times in the body. But
that's always been
his weakness, and Canelo loves to go into the body if he can get inside. So I think that's the big thing. If he can use his jab to keep him off, then it'll be a good fight. If he can't keep him off, I think it'll end him in 7 rounds.
You know what's funny about this is that when Triple G and Kovalev were coming up, I said Triple G could beat Kovalev.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree.
what's funny was there was someone at the press conference between Canelo and Rocky Fielding last year that asked, "Would you ever fight Kovalev?" And everyone laughed at this kid. Everyone. I mean, I kind of laughed too. I'm like, "What the fuck's this kid talking about?" And Canelo said, "Yeah, I don't think I'm going up there." And now this kid looks like a genius. I wish I knew who he was because he kind of predicted the fight a year later.
Yeah, if you're watching the show, send a message.
Send me a
and
tweet,
let
bro.
us know.
Canelo, Rocky Fielding. You said, "Would you?" Because it was Canelo moving up to 68. He's like, "Would you go up from 68 to 75 to fight Kovalev?"
Yeah.
Kid got it right. He must be Russian or know someone. Kovalev, I think Kovalev has one big fight left, and I think it's Canelo. I don't think he should fight the monsters in that division because I think a Godzik, a Better Beef, who's the other Russian? Maybe not Bivol, but still, Bivol can punch. If you're managing Kovalev, do you just say Canelo and that's it, and don't fight these 175 pounds? Like, what else does he have to prove?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is going to be a big fight. Obviously, I don't know the financial terms. If it does happen,
he's gonna get a lot of money.
Well, he's going to get a lot of money. So obviously, I keep saying it, man. Money talks. So this might and you never know. I mean, shit. If Kovalev wins, then what happens?
There's a rematch.
How many doors open? Right? A rematch or maybe another fight against somebody else. So a lot of doors, a lot of avenues will open if he wins. So you have to take this opportunity if it's presented, and I definitely think it will.
Do you think he should fight after that? I don't think he has anything. If you look at his resume. Bernard Hopkins, Andre Ward should have won the first one. All right, you want to say he won the second one? Fine, should have won the first one. Obviously, he didn't win the second one because he got stopped. But again, kind of controversial.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Ward was getting close to the stoppage.
Yeah.
So Hopkins, Nathan Cleverly,
Yeah.
Ward, Campillo. I mean, I'm trying to go to his resume. I mean, it's a really good. John Pascal twice.
Yeah.
I mean, John Pascal.
Those are a lot of big
You can't say
names.
John Pascal wasn't a good
There's a lot of
fighter.
big
You can't
names.
say, like, if we go to his resume, you got Yarde, Eddie Alvarez twice. That other guy sucks. Chilemba, John Pascal again. Blake Carabao, that guy sucks. Ronald Hopkins, Nathan Cleverly. I mean, he's got Gabriel Campillo. That's a good resume. Like, what else does he have left to prove? Do you want to see him fight Bertobiev or Gudzik or Bivol and get rocked and done?
Listen.
As a boxing fan, you want.
As long as he's still in his good mental state, because I always worry about that with boxers. If they're not in their good mental state, they're slurring their words and everything. Then I do want them to retire. But if he's still in his good mental state, he's still speaking clearly. I want to see that. I think he's still a top guy at 175, and I still want to see him go against those guys.
So even though nothing from that Yarde fight tells you like, yo, this guy might be past it at
Well,
this time.
nothing in that fight.
Yarde didn't even have a fucking trainer. That guy Tundi's over there. You're lying in the camp, man.
Nothing in that fight showed me anything that I didn't think before the fight.
Okay.
So it was the same. It was still actually it was a better Kovalev than I thought, because I thought he fought actually much better than I thought he would have, and I do want to see him against those top guys.
So, difference between two corners yesterday. Yarde had a fucking moron in his corner.
No sparring.
Tunde
No sparring.
Ajayi, who didn't want him to spar.
So Boo Boy wasn't available?
No, Boo Boy wasn't available. Boo Boy would have been an upgrade.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
And in the corner, this guy's telling him like, "Oh, Kovalev's getting tired. Go get him." And he's telling him, "Oh, you're a lion in the camp." Meanwhile, Buddy McGirt, who I've criticized in the past a lot, but he's done a magnificent job of Kovalev. He was the difference between the Alvarez fight and the second fight. And yesterday, when he got rocked, and Yarde was kind of close to maybe stopping him in the 7th or 8th round, Buddy McGirt goes to Kovalev. If you don't show me none this round, it's over. I'm stopping this fight. And then boom, there goes Kovalev. What are your thoughts on just the difference in terms of like the trainers in that fight and how good Buddy McGirt has become?
Yeah, it's huge, man, because listen, if your trainer is telling you the right things to do in that corner, I mean, because remember, if you've ever been to a boxing fight, right, on TV, it's weird because it's kind of like masked a little bit, but it's amazing when you actually go to the fight and then that bell rings and it's like, it's weird because it's kind of like quiet. And I can only imagine being in that ring as the boxer. It's just like me and you, mano a mano, and you probably can't hear
Everything
the crowd.
kind of blocks out.
Yeah,
Kind
you
of
block
blocks
everything
out.
out. So it's crazy.
A lot of athletes say
So
that.
the only other person in that ring is, you know what I'm saying, your trainer.
Yeah.
And your trainer, it's like a little person on your shoulder saying, you got to do this, you got to do that. Like, so your trainer's huge. I think underestimated sometimes.
And that's the problem, because some athletes block even that out. They even block that trainer.
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
and obviously you can't.
That's the problem.
That's gonna hurt
because they're so into it, they can't hear it and they don't change. Like, you got to do this, you got to do this, and they still don't.
I mean, with trainers, like for me, I don't know why, but I always think of Mike Tyson. When he lost, they're saying, his trainers and against Buster Douglas, and he had no freaking corner. I mean, his team was his friends, and obviously this is an extreme because they had no clue what to do, especially to stop the swelling.
Yeah, but also a lot of things cause for you to block those things out. So fatigue is one of them. Whether Mike Tyson, we all hear the stuff about what he did the night before or whatever. So things help you block that out too. So that when you do things like that, you're tired, you're mentally fatigued. You block those type of things out, and things just lose. You just forget things. So
can we just?
But it's huge.
Can we just kill the notion that Kovalev doesn't have heart? I mean, whatever you want to say about him outside the ring,
the guy.
Yeah.
This dude bit down on his fucking mouthpiece. He was in trouble in that round.
He was. I think it was the eighth round.
He was fucking hurt.
Yeah.
And Jesus, I thought Yarde was gonna get the stoppage, and then Buddy McGirt said, "Bro," Buddy McGirt's like, "Yo, if you don't fucking show me something this round, I'm stopping it. I'm not fucking around. Like, I'm not trying to get you killed." And Buddy's Buddy's maximum trainer.
And that's what you want from a trainer. To be real with you, to literally slap you around. I mean, Didn't Trinidad's father used to
Daddy just slapped him in the
slap?
face.
That's what you want, man. I mean, obviously, Buddy McGirt didn't slap him physically, but he slapped him mentally.
But
and
is that
that's
it?
what you want
Can we
for
throw
your
that
trainer.
notion that Cobra doesn't have heart?
No, he's got
Yeah,
heart.
he definitely has heart.
He's-
This
Definitely.
is ridiculous.
He's still the crusher, baby. He's still the crusher.
Yeah.
Still the crusher.
So December, maybe November, Cobra Canelo, where we going? Vegas, New York, where we going?
New York.
if it's New York, I'm definitely going. If it's Vegas, I don't know. I mean,
Petty cash. Petty cash.
it might be tough. I mean, I'm slated to go to Disney in December, so it's gonna.
Is
be
there a
tough.
fight there?
Wait, the fight,
No,
is
no.
There probably will be.
No, man, my
It's
daughter.
just
my
unsanctioned.
daughter. I gotta take the baby girl
There'll be an unsanctioned fight
to
there.
Orlando this year, man. So.
This guy makes $24.5 million a year.
I wish I did. I wish I did. Hopefully one day. Hopefully I win the lotto and I make that shit. So listen, I got to use my timeshare in December, man. I got to use my timeshare. So.
But yeah, that's it for our show today, ladies and gentlemen. Before we go, I didn't plug the YouTube channel. We got some more subscribers this week, but I'm telling you, we need
Keep
more.
going.
Two Dudes and a Mexican.
Do it, baby.
YouTube.com.
Take
Just
your
do
friends,
it.
Two
take your
Dudes and a
family,
Mexican.
fucking hard.
your coworkers,
Just press the subscribe,
everybody,
bitch.
people on the street. Come
Everybody.
on, let's do it.
I'm telling you, it's only gonna get better. We got some things in the
It's
works.
not that hard, Dre.
Pete's
Just
Corner.
fucking
I should have
subscribe,
crashed
Dre.
it. I don't even think Dre subscribes. What an
I know,
asshole.
for real.
What an asshole.
Great,
No,
you're
but,
not
who
subscribed.
we got Wednesday?
Come on, man. Of
On
course.
Wednesday, we got Troy Retnick, one of the sports guys from the Denver Broncos.
Oh, so we're gonna talk about Peyton Manning? No, he's just playing
Yeah.
anymore.
We got big shit
Nah, I'm just
coming,
kidding.
guys.
I'm
We're
just
going to
kidding.
talk about Oswald.
Talk about Trevor Siemian. Oh no, he doesn't.
Oh, he's not there. Yeah, kind of a rotating quarterback situation there.
We'll talk
Oh,
about
Joe
that.
Flacco.
Oh, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Joe Flacco. What do you
Hey,
know?
Joe's from Jersey, right?
Joe, what do you know?
Joe, what do you know,
Go to
Joe?
Delaware State.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Hector.
fuck you, Joe.
Shout out to Hector. You can always call Joe Falco, Shane Falco. We'll talk about that. But yeah, guys, we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in.
Bogeys.
Get your fantasy question in.
Bogeys.
If you haven't drafted yet, we're about to draft
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
tomorrow, and Friday.
Every day.
Every day. So get your questions in to Pete, to Dre,
Big money
even
coming,
to
guys.
me. I
Let's
don't
get
care. Get them in. Let's do this. Build this fucking channel.
It.
G-Man.
Good show, guys. Let's go.